All signs point to this as Diana Russini offers a wild Aaron Rodgers theory, as this story will not go away, and fans are terrified after a scary social media post from Justin Jefferson. We're going to be breaking down all of that in this episode of Vikings Digest, so first make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you don't miss any and all Vikings updates as we get closer and closer to the NFL draft. And with that, let's hop into the first topic of the day, which is Russini's Rodgers theory. So, until Aaron Rodgers signs with the Steelers or retires, Diana Russini is going to hammer home that she believes is a realistic possibility where Rodgers signs with the Minnesota Vikings. Rodgers in Minnesota isn't going to happen now, perhaps never, but Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah made it clear that he won't 100% close the door on Rodgers. That said, the Vikings like where they're at with JJ McCarthy, at least for now, and Russini thinks Vikings fans need to come to grips with the Rodgers possibility. Going further into it on the Scoop City podcast, if you guys want to pause it and read it for yourselves. If not, I'll read it here for you. Saying that I do think there is a world, and I know Vikings fans don't want to see it, whether it's their hate for Aaron Rodgers, whether it's they feel JJ is not getting a fair shake, whatever the reason is for why some Vikings fans don't want to see Aaron Rodgers, they have come to grips. There is a world that exists this year where Aaron Rodgers hangs out and the Vikings pick up the phone and they make a call. It could happen. JJ McCarthy has not been told he is the starter. He has not been told he is the number one guy. Even before Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold walked away, or at least went to other teams, it was always discussed that it would be a competition this summer. They're not telling him anything. That is also telling me they don't know how could they know? He's coming off injury. They need to see it. And we've seen a lot of other reports too come out about this particularly. But as well, if the Vikings stick with a plan to bring in a veteran to compete with McCarthy for the starting job, the remaining options are pretty limited for veterans. You might have to go with enough left in the tank to start for Minnesota with names like Joe Flacco, Ryan Tannehill, and others who are lower tier like Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater, or Carson Wentz. We know they had Ryan Tannehill in the building as well for a meeting, so that could be one of the signings that we're looking at coming into this quarterback room. But as far as Aaron Rodgers things go, there's one theory that I was seeing as well that backs up what Russini is saying, where Vikings could wait, see if Rodgers retires, goes to the Steelers or whatnot, but they could also be waiting until after the draft, seeing what teams do at quarterback, seeing what they do as well as far as what they need to do on defense or just to bolster down the offense as well, and then see how OTAs go. Because with JJ, we haven't seen him throw in over a year. We haven't seen him on the practice field or in the training camp or in somewhat simulated game situations to see how he'll look. I know if Rodgers is brought in there, as soon as he throws that thing, it's going to be like it was Brett Favre all over again. So that could be something that Minnesota is trying to avoid, but they also want to see what they have in McCarthy as well. It's still an unproven commodity, but at the same time, you don't want to jeopardize a massive commodity in JJ McCarthy, where this could be a guy that's your quarterback for the future, for the next 5, 10, 15 years even maybe, if he is the guy that we all think that he can be. So Minnesota, they could just sell out for 1 year with Rodgers at the expense of JJ McCarthy's development, but also the other thing looking into this is if JJ comes onto the field in OTAs and he's not looking like he was looking last season and he still has a little bit to go, that could be when Minnesota picks up the phone and just needs an extra insurance policy at quarterback. I know you guys are going to rip it apart in the comments of how Rodgers is either going to the Steelers guaranteed, or that we don't need him in Minnesota, or we shouldn't want him in Minnesota. I'm right there with you guys. I think he's going to go to the Steelers. I don't think he should come to Minnesota because of all the drama. However, if he does, we're still getting a future Hall of Fame quarterback who is a 4-time NFL MVP, who is a Super Bowl champion and a Super Bowl MVP. I know those last two, those were 15 years ago. However, he still has the touch that we all have seen in those videos for decades that Aaron Rodgers has. It's a very special throw, and it's one that can get to targets like Justin Jefferson, like Jordan Addison, like TJ Hawkinson, utilizing Aaron Jones that he's played with before, having a Pro Bowl offensive line bolstered by a defensive Pro Bowl line on the other side of things, and a great defense with a lot of Pro Bowlers and a future Hall of Famer as well. And Harrison Smith came out in the media saying that he loves Rodgers, hates playing against him, but he has always loved going against him too. And he's always been one of the best. So, yes, it sucks that we might have to deal with the fact that, hey, Rodgers could be a Minnesota Viking, whether it's our Packers hatred, whether it's the hatred of him and all the drama that's been around him this past season or past 2 years or 3 years, really. It's been very drama fueled, to be honest, for the Aaron Rodgers front of things. And you guys all know it. You guys have all seen it. But at the end of the day, Minnesota Vikings fans, it might not be as bad as we think if that is the scenario. If JJ McCarthy isn't fully healthy, if JJ McCarthy isn't at where they want in development. However, I don't think that's the case. I think we're going to be going into next season with JJ as our starter, just hoping that everything stays well. I just know the Vikings are going to be terrified. I said it in our last video covering Rodgers. The Vikings are going to be terrified of the repeat of Teddy Bridgewater, where they had to go out and get Sam Bradford. They're scared of last season as well with JJ McCarthy because everything was riding so high. Everything was going to be placed on his shoulders. He was going to be the guy probably by week 4 or 6, and then wheels fell off and the plan went to hell. So now they have to do damage control and make sure that those mistakes don't happen again. Now, if you guys were to ask yourselves, yes, as much as you don't want Rodgers in Minnesota, but I want you guys to ask yourself one question. If you had to pick a quarterback to fill in for JJ McCarthy, are you picking Ryan Tannehill or are you picking Aaron Rodgers? Are you picking Drew Lock or are you picking Aaron Rodgers? Are you picking Carson Wentz or are you picking Aaron Rodgers? It's when you look at it that way that Rodgers coming to Minnesota doesn't seem as bad as it might sound if JJ McCarthy is not fully ready. But let us know what you guys have to say in the comments. I know you guys are going to be very loud with your opinions, and I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about it. But that's going to take us into our second topic of the day, which is, what are you doing, JJ? And there has been a recent video that has come out that is catching serious heat from fans of Justin Jefferson riding an ATV that could violate the terms of his massive $140 million contract. The video was posted on his Instagram page of him doing donuts on an ATV, and a lot of fans were very scared at first, saying bubble wrap him. Fantasy owners in their dynasty leagues were very concerned as well seeing it, and for good reason, because you don't want the best wide receiver in the league to get hurt in a freak accident. And this is something that we've seen happen with players in the past, Xavier McKinney being one of the most recent ones before he went to the Green Bay Packers. So that was also a big one. We've seen this happen with guys before. Jason Pierre-Paul, he blew apart his fingers. So there's another thing where anything can happen over the course of the summer. Anything can happen in the offseason, but you just have to make sure that you're staying as safe as possible, especially when you are the best in the league at your position. And NFL contracts often include clauses prohibiting players from engaging in high-risk activities, and for first-round picks like Jefferson, those clauses are typically ironclad. While the offseason offers players some personal freedom, riding ATVs falls squarely into the significant risk of injury category, something that could void guarantees in a heartbeat. Fans didn't hold back, flooding comment section with criticism, urging Jefferson to think twice before risking it all for a thrill ride. And ESPN's Mark Raimondi also wrote that the standard NFL contract states guarantees could be voided if players are participating in activities with a significant risk of injury, and first-round picks often have specific endeavors listed, as previously mentioned. Most commonly prohibited activities right there are riding anything that goes fast: ATVs, jet skis, motorcycles, snowmobiles, and we know all the players, they have all the money and the toys, and they want to be able to use them. They want to have fun. At the end of the day, they're still kids. Justin Jefferson is only around my age. Actually, I think he's younger than I am. So yeah, he's still a kid at heart, wanting to have fun, enjoy the prime of his youth in his 20s. But when you're getting paid that money and you're meaning as much to this franchise as you're meaning, stay off the jet skis, stay off the ATVs, stay off the motorcycles, stay out of anything crazy. Even playing basketball, it's not your sport. Don't even bother hopping on the court playing it. Unless you're practicing your sport, don't even risk it when you're getting paid that much money, and that much of it is guaranteed. It's not just for our sake, it's also for his sake as well. It's still his health that is ultimately the main factor in all this. As much as it would suck to lose him for this team and what he means to this team, ultimately, you want players to be healthy because you want the best for them, especially Justin Jefferson, where he has so much talent. You want to see him play football for another 20 years. You don't want to see him play for another 5 years. You want to see him play for as long as he possibly can. I know 20 years might be a stretch because he's already been in the league a little bit longer than that, or a little bit for now. However, he just got that big contract extension. It's another 5 years. So now we have him for that much years. By the time that happens, he'll be in his 9th or 10th season after that contract is expired. So yeah, you want to make sure that A, he sees the end of that contract, and B, you can extend him for more money and another contract after that to make sure he retires as a Minnesota Viking. So doing things like this, it's very reckless. Definitely stay away from it. Justin Jefferson, if you're out there hearing all the fans that are telling you to stay off of the risky stuff, listen, stay off of it. Listen to the fans, listen to the organization, and don't try and cost yourself money, your health, and your season as a result of it. But what did you guys think about this video when it surfaced? Were you guys freaking out like a lot of people, or were you guys kind of just thinking, all right, he's just having fun? Or were you kind of on the fence about it and you don't know how to feel about it? Let us know what you guys have to say down in the comments. Let us know what you guys have to say about everything that's happening this off season, and let us know what type of videos you guys want to see during this off season as we get to experiment with some different types of videos before we get into the draft. And then as we shift from the draft into the OTAs and the mini camps and all that, we'll definitely have some different types of videos for you guys. So let us know what types of videos you want to see down in the comments. But that's going to do it for this episode of Vikings Digest. I've been your host, Griffin. Take care.